When you grow old. 7 ways to handle people who don't respect you. As we grow older, we carry with us a lifetime of experiences, wisdom, and resilience. These qualities are the essence of who we are, a testament to all we've endured and accomplished. Yet, despite this, there will always be those who fail to show us the respect we deserve. Whether it's a dismissive attitude, an unkind remark, or being ignored altogether, disrespect can sting at any age. However, it can feel particularly frustrating in our later years, when we might expect people to appreciate the value of experience and show greater deference to their elders. Dealing with such moments of disrespect can be challenging. How do we respond with dignity? How do we ensure that others recognize our worth without resorting to negativity ourselves? In this comprehensive guide, I'll share 7 strategies to handle disrespect gracefully and effectively. These approaches are designed to empower you, protect your peace, and reaffirm your self-worth. Whether the disrespect comes from a pushy relative, a dismissive stranger, or even a close friend who ought to know better. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up to help spread these empowering lessons. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss content that encourages you to live with dignity and confidence. If you'd like to share your feedback, comment 1 if you found the video valuable, or 0 if you feel we could improve. Now, let's dive in. 1. Embrace the silent stare. Silence is often underestimated, yet it can be one of the most powerful tools we have when dealing with disrespect. The silent stare is not merely a reaction, it is a statement. It communicates strength, self-assurance, and unshakable self-respect. When faced with rudeness, interruptions, or dismissiveness, the natural urge is to defend ourselves, to argue, or to demand acknowledgement. But sometimes, the most impactful thing you can do is remain silent and let your calm, steady gaze do all the talking. When you hold a silent stare, you shift the power dynamic entirely. You are no longer reacting to the other person's behavior. Instead, you are forcing them to confront it. This isn't about intimidation or anger. It's about being fully present and allowing them to sit with the weight of their actions. Most people who disrespect others thrive on eliciting emotional reactions, anger, frustration, or defensiveness. By denying them that reaction, you hold a mirror up to their behavior, showing them more about themselves than they might be ready to see. I remember a specific family dinner where this approach changed everything. A younger relative made a dismissive comment about a story I shared, a memory I was proud of. For a moment, I felt embarrassed, tempted to argue back, but instead, I stopped, set my fork down, and calmly met their eyes. No anger, no frustration, just a steady, composed gaze. The room fell silent, their smirk disappeared, and in that moment, something shifted. They realized their words had crossed a line. The silent stare isn't about ignoring the hurt. It's about reclaiming control over how you respond. It's a quiet yet profound way of saying, "I will not let your words define me." This approach reinforces your dignity and reminds you that your self-worth is not dependent on anyone else's opinion. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 2. Embrace silence as your answer. Silence can speak volumes, especially in moments of conflict or disrespect. To some, silence may seem passive, as though you're giving up or backing down. But in reality, choosing to remain silent is an active, deliberate decision to withhold your energy from situations that do not deserve it. When someone makes a rude remark or dismisses you, they're often looking for a reaction. They want to provoke you, to pull you into their negativity. By remaining silent, you deny them that satisfaction. Your silence becomes a shield, a way of saying, "Your words hold no power over me." It forces the other person to sit with their actions, often creating a level of discomfort far greater than any verbal retort could achieve. For example, I once stood in line at a pharmacy when a younger person behind me grew impatient and muttered something rude under their breath. Years ago, I might have snapped back, feeling the need to defend myself. But this time, I remained silent. I kept my gaze forward, shoulders squared, and allowed the silence to stretch. Their muttering quickly ceased, and they shuffled uncomfortably. By choosing silence, you are reclaiming your energy. You're deciding that not every word spoken to you requires a reply. And not every battle is worth fighting. This doesn't mean you're weak or unwilling to stand up for yourself, it's the opposite. It shows that you have the strength to rise above negativity without engaging in it. 3. Stop explaining your choices. As we navigate life, one of the most liberating lessons we can learn is this: you don't owe anyone an explanation for your decisions. Whether it's declining an invitation or making a significant life change, your choices are yours, and they don't need to be justified to others. There will always be people who question you, ask for details, or even challenge your reasoning. Often, their curiosity isn't genuine, it's a subtle way of undermining your confidence. And yet, the instinct to explain can feel automatic. We want people to understand, to see things from our perspective. But here's the truth: their understanding is not necessary for your choices to be valid. When I decided to stop hosting large family gatherings, the questions came pouring in. Why not? Don't you enjoy it? What about tradition? At first, I tried to explain, but no matter what I said, the questions persisted. Eventually, I realized that my decisions didn't require their approval. The next time someone asked, I simply said, "This is what works for me now." The conversation ended there, and I walked away feeling lighter. The freedom to live authentically lies in letting go of the need to explain yourself. Trust that your decisions are valid, simply because they feel right to you. 4. Keep your distance. Sometimes, the best way to handle disrespect is not through confrontation, but by creating space. Distance isn't about shutting people out, it's about protecting your peace. As we age, our time and energy become more precious. Relationships that drain us, rather than uplift us, are no longer worth maintaining. Perhaps it's a friend who constantly criticizes, a family member who dismisses your opinions, or a neighbor who oversteps boundaries. Whatever the case, there's no rule that says you must endure disrespect to keep the peace. I once had a friend whose remarks often left me feeling small. For years, I brushed it off, excusing their behavior, but eventually, I realized that continuing the friendship was costing me my peace. I began to limit contact, declining invitations and answering fewer calls. Over time, the weight lifted, and I felt freer. Distance can be liberating. It's a way of telling yourself that your peace matters and that you deserve relationships built on mutual respect. 5. Hold your head high. When someone disrespects you, it's tempting to shrink, but holding your head high, literally and figuratively, is a powerful reminder to yourself and others that you know your worth. I once encountered a condescending remark about my age during a casual conversation. Instead of reacting or trying to prove myself, I straightened my shoulders, smiled, and continued the conversation. My quiet confidence shifted the energy entirely. Holding your head high doesn't require words. It's about embodying your self-worth so completely that others can't help but see it too. 6. Teach people how to treat you. Respect isn't always freely given, it's often taught. This doesn't mean demanding deference or forcing others to see your worth. It means calmly and consistently asserting your boundaries. For example, when someone interrupts, calmly say, "Please let me finish." When someone dismisses your choices, respond, "That's your opinion, but I'm happy with my decision." These small yet firm statements communicate self-respect. Teaching others how to treat you starts with how you treat yourself. Set boundaries and uphold them consistently, showing others that you value your time and energy. 7. Remember, respect starts with you. At the heart of every boundary, every moment of self-advocacy, lies this truth: respect begins with you. When you honor your own needs and boundaries, you set the tone for how others engage with you. Respecting yourself is not about perfection. It's about treating yourself with compassion, saying no when needed, and living authentically. The more you respect yourself, the less room there is for disrespect from others. Conclusion: walking through life with dignity. As we age, the importance of respect takes on a deeper meaning. It's not just about how others treat us, it's about how we honor ourselves. By embracing silence, setting boundaries, and prioritizing self-respect, we reclaim our power and reaffirm our worth. Remember, your value isn't tied to anyone else's opinion. It's rooted in who you are and the life you've lived. Walk through life with dignity, knowing that respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you embody.